Hi, welcome to my second video blog. I thought this time I could start off by telling you some things about bows and arrows. I'll be telling you just about everything I know about bows and arrows, and if some of you are, I guess, experts on this stuff, then you'll probably know just about all of it, but if not, then this will be an interesting thing for you to see. So first off, this is my bow. It has a 10-pound draw weight. It's nice and flexible enough so that it will pull back right, and it's powerful so that it'll fire really far. Now with bows, most of the time if you buy them packaged or something, they're not going to be strung, especially if you have to make them yourself, which I haven't exactly heard very much of, but I'm pretty sure some people do. But for those of you who want to know how to string a bow, let me show you how. You just heard the thunder too, right? Yeah. That's one reason I'm shooting this, because I can't go outside to shoot my bow. Okay. See, there's a little knock on each end of the bow, which is where the string hooks onto. So you get that one there, and then what you do is you have to stand up and hold it behind your leg really hard and grip the other end as hard as you can. Bend it down as far as you can, bend it down, and then hook the string into the knock. And there you have it. Nice and strong already. I've been working with this bow for over a year, and I've been working on it a lot, believe me. And don't get me wrong, bows are, I guess they're simple in some ways, like the design, but believe it or not, there's a lot of technique to it too. I mean, it's not something you just learn overnight. You really gotta figure it out. Like, for starters, you can't pull back the arrow in your bowstring with your forefinger and thumb. Some people think that, and you know how some little kids will have those fake bows that they sell in toy stores, and they just pull them back like that? Yeah, that's not how it works with this. Let me demonstrate here. And no, I'm not gonna pull it back with an arrow in there. That would be insanely stupid. But I'm just gonna show you how to hold it right. You have to hook your forefinger and middle finger over the top and bottom of the butt of the arrow when it's on the string. And there are a couple of little bumps at this part of the arrow that hold it into the bowstring, so it sort of clips in, so you don't have to keep it from slipping out. But it is loose. It can move around still, but you just have to hold it in place. And when you aim, keep the bow still, and make sure your aiming point is in focus for a few seconds before you shoot. And one thing that I learned from reading the Ranger's Apprentice book series is that when you shoot, it's best if you pull it back to full draw, which means you just pull it back as far as it can go. But try not to pull it too far, because otherwise the arrow will get stuck. Like, if you pull it back too far, the point will get caught in here, and then when you try and pull it out, it'll just shoot right out. That has happened to me before, twice. And the first time it zoomed past my head. Yeah, not a very pleasant experience. But overall, I've learned quite a bit. And I'm pretty sure a bunch of you out there have too. Okay. Now, let's see, stringing the bow, aiming. Oh yeah, aiming. One thing with aiming is that you really have to focus. Like, when you pull back the bowstring, if you're holding it to the left side of your head, then close your, the right side of your head, and then close your left eye. That's what I do, because it narrows down your aiming range by a lot. You can actually see which way the arrow is going to fly when you do it like that. and then you focus on your target and then shoot. At first that doesn't seem too hard, but usually it just takes a few tries to get it right. But for some people it takes a lot. You know, I hear some people, for example, have bows and arrows and they just practice until they get it right, but there are some like me who would rather practice until they don't get it wrong very much. Yeah, I do get it wrong a bunch of times. I guess a lot of us do at some point. Duh. When you just miss, and sometimes you'll get it right, but other times you'll just miss the target. Yeah, that happens a lot. That's why it takes practice. It's not just something you can master in a day. It really takes practice. Alright, now, let's see. They say that an arrow should be the same length as your arm. And that's an important factor because you want to be able to hold your bow at arm's length and then pull the arrow back to full draw. So it has to be at least near the length of your arm. And with bows, they also say that a bow should be the size of the person using it, but that's usually just recommended because a lot of people aren't strong enough to pull back a bow that's the size of the person using it. Like, this bow is obviously smaller than me. It's about 4 feet, I think. I don't know, I didn't really measure it. But, yeah, and it has a 10-pound draw weight, like I said before, which means if you can lift a 10-pound weight or something, then you can pull this back. And how much power it has, like how much force it will throw the arrow with, depends on the draw weight and how you use it, if you use it right. And you gotta make sure you're shooting straight, otherwise the arrow will swerve and go out of control. And if you have someone with you, you have to make sure the person is standing either next to or behind you, because if you shoot it wrong, then it could ricochet and hit something or someone. Yeah, I'm pretty sure you don't want to go there. Alright, now, there's a couple different kind of bows that I'm interested in. And, okay, so there's a recurve bow that has a curve that goes kind of like this, up at the end. I'm not entirely sure how, but I know that it sort of helps the speed and power of the string. I'm not entirely sure. I'll have to look it up. But, and then there's long bows. Now, long bows are the hardest because they're like 6 feet long when they're not strung. So, if you pick one up and it's not strung, it'll just look like a 6-foot long staff. But pulling it back is definitely hard for some people because a longbow's draw weight is pretty big. Like twice as much as this, at least. The lightest draw weight longbow I've ever seen was 20 to 25 pounds draw weight. And I think the heaviest that I've seen or heard of is 65 or something. Yeah, you really gotta get ripped or something to pull one of them. But yeah, it takes practice, and if you wanna just pick up a bow and pull it back just to see if you can, try that before getting a bow, because you need to know if you'll really be able to pull it back first. Okay, and what else was I gonna say? Oh yeah, one thing that helps on a bow is to have a guide here on the handle. It'll hold the arrow in place and keep it from slipping like this. But, you know, it still will if you don't hold it right. So, this little guide here holds the arrow in place. But the only problem is some of them are angled. So if you hold the bow just slightly like this or like this, it'll go at just either too high or too low. And you might, I don't know if you'll miss a target or not, but you might just hit a little too high or too low. Or depending on your skill, you just might get it right. Yeah, again, practice makes perfect. And there's a couple of safety precautions I should definitely mention before wrapping up this blog. Okay, now, the bowstring is flexible. but it's really hard too. So I think some people get blisters, so if you pull it back, it hurts. Yeah, I have no idea what it's made of, but yeah, it'll hurt you if you pull it back without something on your fingers, like a glove or some sort of finger guard. I mean, I have a finger guard, but my fingers got stuck in there the last time I had it on, and I'm okay with using a hard glove. That's what I recommend using. Just get some kind of leathery glove, preferably one with finger armor, so that it'll protect your fingers. That way when you pull the bowstring back, it won't hurt so much. I mean, it might a little bit depending on the condition of the glove, but it definitely works, trust me. And another concern with said bowstring: since you're holding your arm out straight when you fire, and you pull back the bowstring and then let it go, it can scratch your arm. Yeah, it has happened. Because some people have their arm just a little too straight or curved inward like this, so that when they pull the bowstring back and it goes really fast like it's supposed to, it scratches your arm and it hurts. So you should get some kind of forearm wrist guard, like an arm guard for your arm, so that way it won't hurt. But you could also just try wearing a long sleeve shirt or jacket to protect your arm. That's what I do, because my arm guard is like too small and it really itches my arm. Yeah, that happens. Okay, I think that's just about it. But oh yeah, some people might need to unstring their bows when they want to put them in storage or something, right? I thought so. You just unstring it the same way you strung it. Like that. See? Now it's straight and you can store it easier than when it's curved. Okay, well, I guess I'll wrap up this blog since I can't put much more video on it at a time anyways. So I'll talk to you later with some more interesting stuff.